All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our TensorFlow course, and we're still doing our malaria covenants module. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Now, yesterday we were going over different aspects of creating different feature maps, and today we're going to pick up where we left off with the max pooling feature. So for the particular case of the max pooling, if you want to understand how this works, we'll take a look at this example. Take notice that as we pick these values, we will be returned the max value of all the values in that pool, in this case, which will be 0. So basically what we're going to do is we're just simply sliding through the whole image with our kernel/filter and returning the max value of all the values in the pool at that moment. In some cases, we will instead take the average of the pool, which is known as average pooling. But for the max pooling, which is commonly used, we take the max of all the values in the pool at that moment. Let me show you the feature map we're going to be working with. Now, this is a single channel from the feature map that we're going to be working with, and you know what a channel is. If you don't, I can go back up and show you really quickly. So one of these will be considered a channel right here in our output. These are made up of channels. RGB are our 3 channels in this particular output feature map here. Let me see if I can show you another one just in case. Yeah, and these are also channels here inside of our feature map. So we're just going to take a look at one channel. That's why we got that one channel that we're going to do an example on for max pooling. So this is just one single channel from our feature map. Let's look at the position in the left-hand corner and imagine that our 2x2 kernel filter is there. So we're going to imagine that we're looking at this position here and we have a 2x2 filter. That's 1, 2, 1, 2. So our filter will occupy this space here. Now, going by the rules of max pooling, we will bring back the max value of all the values in this particular pool here, which will be 0 because all of the values are 0. Next, if we slide over to the next batch, because we have a stride of 2, we would have 0, 0, 2, 2. That means the max value for this particular pool would be 2, because that's the highest value in this actual pool here is the number 2, or the value 2. Again, with our stride of 2, we would move over 2, 1, 2, still with our 2x2 filter. Our max value for this one would be 2 also, because you can see the highest value in this pool would be 2. Then we would go over again with a stride of 2, 1, 2, and the highest value in this particular pool would be the value 1. As you can see, 1 is higher than all of the other values. Lastly, we will move over to the last particular location in our feature map here. And in this pool, we would have 0 again, as you can see, because 0 is all we have in this particular pool. That's how you explain max pooling. But I'm going to go ahead and read it anyway, just so you can get an understanding of it. Okay, so we have an input size of 2x2 like I specified by the parameters, and we're picking out just one of the channels from the input feature map like I specified. Also remember that we have a stride of 2 like I specified to you. This means that the next set of pool numbers in our kernel filter size, if we move to the right, will be 0022 like I showed you, which will give us a max pool value of 2 like I explained. We'll move again, the max value, which again is going to be 2, because when I showed you it was 0012, and the max value of that particular pool was 2. We move again and we get a max value of 1. That's because I showed you that it was 0001, and 1 was the highest value of that particular pool. And finally, we'll move to the last location along the width and get the max value, which will be 0. Like I showed you, the 4 elements in that particular pool, all 0, so 0 was the max value that we could get. Okay, we'll do this for the entire channel, width and height, until we have gotten all of the max values and formed a new feature map. So we would have left from a 10 by 10 by 6 and have gone to a 5 by 5 by 6 input feature map. That's because we were going to record every value from the max value pool, and we're going to document it, and it's actually going to create a new feature map for us that's going to lead from a 10 by 10 to a 5 by 5. How come we got a 10 by 10? Well, if you notice here, this is our 10 by 10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is our 10 by 10. And after we extracted every max value from the pool of our kernel stride of 2, we would have a 5 by 5. That's going to lead us to our 5 by 5 by 6. So that's what that's saying. And we did do a lot more this morning, and we're actually caught all the way up on TensorFlow, and we're actually ready to start writing code. But I didn't want to dive into that today because I wanted to make sure we went over everything completely, dealing with the filters and the feature maps and the outputs and the inputs. But yeah, as we move along, I will keep you guys posted every step of the way as usual. But for now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.